And so it follows the same pattern. I, holding the office of, mention your office, do in the name of the Almighty God swear that I will not directly or indirectly communicate or reveal to any person any matter which shall be brought under my consideration or shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my official duties, except as may be required for the discharge of my official duties or as may be specially permitted by law. So help me God. Congratulations.
You may kindly take your seats. Right. Before I invite the President to present the instruments of appointment to our newly minted ministers, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of our Vice President, Professor Jane Nano Poku-Agyemang, as well as the senior government officials who are herein gathered to witness the process, and also our various distinguished invited guests, family and friends of our ministers of state, and my dear media colleagues, if I may still consider myself as such. Right now, we would now invite the President to present the instruments of appointment to each of our ministers. Again, I would start first off with the Honorable Rashid Hassan Pelpo, MP, Wa Central, and Minister for Labor, Jobs and Employment. So this is what we're going to do. After the first photograph, I would invite the family and friends of Honorable Rashid to join immediately for another photograph. Mr. President. Yes, please. Family and friends, the numbers are many, so we need to quicken the pace. Thank you for your understanding. Last week, the battle of the delegations was between Volta and Asawase MP. So let's see who would win this time. Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to invite the Honorable Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed to receive. No, yes, just we'll do the group one later. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Honorable, you may sign and proceed to sign in the oath book. Right. Family and friends of the Honorable Murtala Mohammed, please join. Mrs., please take your rightful position. Wonderful. Next, the Honorable Samuel Nate George, Honorable Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Pram, please. And Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation. Family and friends of the Honorable Minister, kindly join. There comes the missus, the industrious wife. Right. Wonderful. Next, the Honorable Kofi E.D. Adams would also come forth and receive his instrument of appointment. Family and friends, family and friends of Kofi Adams, please. Thank you very much. Next, the Minister for Health, the Honorable Kwabena Mensah Akando. May the family and friends get ready as well to join. Honorable Akando didn't come to play. I think he's in a comfortable lead. Oh. Thank you all very much for the support that you have come out here to give to your son. Next is the Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, Minister Foreign Affairs. Mr. President, you may have to give him another oath because he says he is ready for a second thriller in Parliament. Family and friends of the Honorable, please kindly make way. Rade Nyankopo. His people have really turned up. I think the Son of Man has just upstaged the Honorable Akando. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to invite the Minister for Transport, the Honorable Joseph Bukari Nikwe. May the family and friends of the Honorable make way to join him take the photograph. I see that some people are representing for all the candidates. Anyway, it's Ghana, isn't it? We have multiple relations. Thank you. Thank you very much, the Honorable Joseph Bukari Nikwe and family. This is when family and friends it's okay to have on occasions like this. Next, I'd like to invite my own boss, whose role I'm performing this afternoon because he's on the other side, the Honorable Felix Kwachi Ofosu, Minister of State in charge of Government Communication. Please give him a round of applause. I'm biased like that. Family and friends of the Honorable, please kindly make way. Which one? Thank you very much, the family and friends of the Honorable Felix Kwachi Ofosu. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Seidu Isifu to receive his instrument of appointment, Minister of State in charge of Climate Change and Sustainability. Family, be on standby. May the family and friends now join him. Thank you very much, the Honorable Minister of State in charge of climate. Indeed, it's a beautiful climate here this afternoon. Next, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Mrs. Charity Gardner, Regional Minister for Ahafo Region. Family, kindly make way to join her. Thank you also very much. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Salisu Awuribe Isifu, Regional Minister, Savannah. Family and friends, kindly make way to join for the photograph. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I mean, for the families, if anyone makes sacrifices, it is often the family. So we thank you for showing us that our ministers have their family support. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Joseph Nelson. Mr. Joseph Nelson, Regional Minister for Western Region. Family and friends, please be on standby. Please, if you're done your photos, take your seat so that we can have a calm event. Thank you. Family and friends, for Mr. Wilbert Petty Brentum. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to invite was that Mr. Nelson? That was Mr. Nelson, right? I think I messed them up. Forgive me. Mr. Wilbert Petty Brentum's turn is next. Mr. Wilbert, forgive me. I mixed it up. So he is the regional minister for Western North. Joseph Wilson, who just left, is the regional minister for Western Region. Family of Mr. Wilbert Brentum, kindly join him. Kindly join him. We're almost there. Thank you. Thank you. Coming up is Mr. Joseph Adai Akwabua, Regional Minister for Bono Region. Will his family members be on standby? Thank you. Family members, kindly make your way. Family members, kindly make your way. Very memorable moment indeed. Thank you. Will Mr. Francis Owusu Enchi come up now for his instrument of appointment, Regional Minister for Bono East? Mr. Francis Owusu Enchi. Family and friends, please make your way. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you. Mr. Eduamwa Eko Penny Orchary, Regional Minister for Central Region, you are next. Family and friends, kindly make way. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Orchary, Regional Minister, Central. Last but certainly not the least, Mr. Pozuing Charles Luanga, Regional Minister for Upper West Region. Hey, Rade. In fact, I should also be in this photo because me too, I am a family member. Thank you, Upper West, for doing the needful. Right, next. Oh, the president is signing. Yes. Thank you very much. And let me just add that there are several members of our families and friends who couldn't make it. So, yes, and they are out there. They are still supporting you, right? The space couldn't take everyone, so that's the reason why. The president, Mr. President, please, you may take your seat. I beg your pardon. Thank you. The president will now sign the oath book. Right. Thank you, Excellency, and it's now my pleasure to invite His Excellency to give his remarks on today's auspicious occasion. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
Thank you. Please be seated. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, the Honorable Chief of Staff, senior officials of the Presidency, newly sworn-in Ministers of State, distinguished invited guests, families and friends, ladies and gentlemen, friends of the media. Exactly a month today, I took the oath to become the 6th President under the 4th Republic and the 12th head of state since independence. I did so with the hopes and aspirations of millions of my fellow citizens weighing heavily on my shoulders. The Ghanaian people, in a resounding electoral mandate, have returned me to the high office of President with one charge, and that is to reset our dear nation while offering honest governance that yields tangible benefits for them. The urgency to reset our dear country is the reason why we have worked round the clock to constitute our government in record time so we can get things done quickly and efficiently. In this period, since I was sworn in, we've constituted a working presidential staff for both the office of the President and the office of the Vice President. We've set in motion the processes for constitutional review by establishing a Constitution Review Committee. We've initiated work on the National Economic Dialogue with a planning committee already hard at work. We've announced the promised National Education Review Dialogue Committee. We began the National Tripartite Committee negotiations with a view to setting the base pay and minimum wage. We've announced the 2025 Hajj fare, which is 13,000 Ghana cedis cheaper than what it was in the year, among others. We've gathered here again today to witness the induction into office of 17 ministers who have gone through vetting and have been approved by Parliament. They represent the final installment of substantive ministers and brings to 42 the total number of substantive ministers who have been sworn in. That Parliament will expedite vetting of the deputy ministerial nominees to complete the process and enable them to take office in support of their ministers. In the coming days, I'll be nominating the last remaining 4 deputy ministers to bring the total number of ministers to 60, as I promised the people of Ghana. Indeed, we have proven that it is possible to have a lean and efficient government, but that is the easiest part of the job. An efficient government will not make itself. It requires strategy, creativity, innovation, intentionality, and hard work. And I therefore expect nothing but the very best output from all of you. To the 8 of you who will be serving as regional ministers, remember that the people in your regions look up to you to deliver on the promises made during the last campaign, in which you played active roles. How you conduct yourselves will either reflect positively or negatively on this government, and I expect that you will dig deep into your reserves to meet the expectations of our people. In addition, I've just sworn in 9 sector ministers whose performance will be key to the success of this government and the rapid development of our country. The Honorable Kwabena Minta Akando goes to the Ministry of Health. It will be your duty to supervise a health sector that is plagued by numerous complex challenges with regards to personnel and health facilities, but also in dealing with any possible pandemics like COVID-19, which can disrupt our very existence if they break out again. You therefore have the task of proofing all Ghanaians against effects of such disease and ensuring that our health system is robust and resilient to withstand such crises. As Foreign Minister, Honorable Okuchetu Ablakwa, you will have to bring the same dynamism and commendable work ethic for which you are known to navigating the complex maze of international diplomacy in a fast-shifting geopolitical environment. I have every intention of taking you up on your word regarding economic diplomacy, which will be crucial to repairing our reputation as a nation following the disastrous economic crisis that led to a loss of confidence in our economy by the international investment community. With climate change becoming an ever-pressing issue, I look forward that you, Honorable Alhaji Baba Issifo Seidu, will bring your wealth of experience and exposure to bear on our efforts as a country to contribute to the global efforts to combat it. I've made drastic changes to government information dissemination machinery, and I've picked you, Honorable Felix Kwakye Ofosu, to lead the effort as Minister of State for Government Communications to modernize and sharpen how this government interacts and interfaces with the Ghanaian people. Honorable Rashid Hassan Pelpo, you come into office at a time when we have inherited the worst unemployment situation in our country's history, with millions of Ghanaian youth despairing over the frustration of not being able to find a job. It will be your mandate to work with stakeholders to turn this situation around and also foster a harmonious labor-government relationship. To Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed as Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, you will have the unenviable task of safeguarding Ghana's environment, which has been in great peril from the activities of Galamsey and other environmental terrorism. You also have the responsibility of promoting Ghanaian technology and making it competitive. Ghana's communication sector has seen incremental growth over the last few decades, and you, Honorable Samuel Nate Jata George, the Honorable Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, you'll be expected not only to continue this growth trajectory, but to curate policies that expand the frontiers of the sector and place Ghana at the forefront of the global telecommunications space. The Honorable Kofi Idi Adams, Minister for Sports and Recreation, I don't envy your job. You have the monumental task of restoring Ghana to its pride of place in African and world sports. The shambles that is Ghana sports today is completely unacceptable for a country with our pedigree, and I expect that you inject transparency, professionalism, and modernity into the management of the sector. I expect that you will concentrate on building up all the sports disciplines, and I know the Ghana Football Association would be a good place to start, to work to make sure that we return Black Stars to its glory days. And finally, with Honorable Joseph Bukari Nikpe, Minister for Transport, you are charged with the task of building on past progress in the transport sector to guarantee swift movement of people and goods through a modernized rail, aviation, and marine transport. I have no doubt that all of you are poised to work tirelessly to improve the lot of Ghanaians in your respective sector based on your experience and your competence. I must, however, remind you of the same caution I sounded to your colleagues who have already taken office, that the hallmark of this government will be modesty and respect for the Ghanaian people. There will be no room for arrogance and pomposity in this government. The resources that you'll be working with belong to the Ghanaian people who put us in office. Those resources are not to be wasted on opulence and extravagance. I've asked the Chief of Staff to write to all government appointees that I've imposed a ban on non-essential travel forthwith to cut down expenditure. Any travel that is deemed essential and necessary must be cleared first with the Office of the Chief of Staff, and such travels will have to be undertaken in modesty, no first class. Also, all traces of affluence and lavish lifestyle are to be avoided. The people of Ghana are enduring difficult times occasioned by hardships resulting from the economic mismanagement of the last 8 years. And ours is to work to lift them out of this hole, not to compound it further. On Monday, I'll be receiving the report of the committee I set up to prepare the way for the implementation of Operation Recover All the Loot, ORAL. Upon receipt, Upon receipt of this report, appropriate action will be taken against those who are deemed to have acted against the economic and financial interests of this country through corruption and related acts. While it is all well and good to hold past office holders accountable for their actions, it is even better to prevent the incidence of corruption in the first place. And as I've already indicated many times, I'll be holding all my appointees in this government to the strictest standards of accountability to ensure that the mandate and resources entrusted to us by the people of Ghana go only into working for them and improving their standards of living. Let me take this opportunity to remind you all that in the coming days, as promised in our 120-day plan, I'll be outdooring a code of conduct and standards for all government officials to guide the conduct of all our appointees. This will leave you in no doubt about what you can do and what you cannot do while serving in public office. You must make this code of conduct your guide and keep it like a Bible by your bedside before you take any action. I made a solemn pledge in our Resetting Ghana manifesto to lead by example and to serve with dedication, selflessness, and deep love for country. I intend to fully keep that pledge to the people of Ghana. And my biblical instruction: therefore, as ye go forth into your new roles, remember once again that our ministry as a government is not to dispossess the people we govern of their dignity, their livelihoods and opportunities. Ours is rather a duty to reset our country and ensure the equitable distribution of the gains of progress and prosperity to all. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you so very much. You may now breathe easy. It is finished. May I now invite all the ministers newly sworn in and senior government officials to take a group photo with the President, after which a representative from the ministers will also give us their remarks. One by one, actually. They said, ask Felix. Right. So, Honorable Rashid Pelpo, senior government officials, kindly join the President and the Vice President. Senior government officials, you don't want to take photo? Thank you. Honorable Mutala, you're next. Honorable Samuel George. Honorable Kofi Adams, you're next. Honorable Kobna Minta Akando. I don't even know why I keep mixing that. Honorable Joseph Bukari Nikwe, you're next. Honorable Sam Okujeto Ablakwa, you're next. Honorable Felix Kwachio Fosu on standby. Honorable Felix. Mr. Seidu Isifu. Thank you. Mrs. Charity Gardner, you're next. Mr. Salisu Esifu, you're next. Joseph Wilson, Mr. Joseph Wilson, you're next. Mr. Wilbert, be on standby. Thank you. Mr. Wilbert. Mr. Joseph Nelson, you're next. Hey, ask him. Mr. Adai Akwabwa. Mr. Francis Entry, please be on standby. Thank you. Mr. Eduamwa Penyin Orchary, you'll be up next. Last but not the least, Mr. Charles Luanga. Thank you. Would now like to take a group photo, so would have His Excellency the President and Vice take their seat. Government officials government officials should take their seat as well. And then the first row of ministers, please come up for your group photo. Behind. Thank you very much. The next row, please, all of you. All right. I'd now like to invite the Honorable Samuel Okujetu Ablakwa to offer remarks on behalf of his colleagues.
Thank you very much, Shamima. Your Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, Your Excellency Professor Nana Jenopoko Ajiman, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, senior government officials, colleague, honorable ministers of state, our revered chiefs, our spouses, children, family, friends, and the media. On behalf of my colleague, honorable ministers of state, we wish to render our heartfelt appreciation to His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama for the confidence he has reposed in us. We wish to assure His Excellency the President and the people of Ghana that we do not take this confidence for granted, and we do not take lightly the responsibility that has been put in our hands. We make a solemn pledge that we shall serve the people of this country as His Excellency the President of the Republic has charged us, in utmost diligence, integrity, hard work, discipline, and with great respect for the chiefs and people of our country. We know our leader has very high standards. Over the last few weeks since his induction, we have seen how he has toiled and continues to serve the people of this country with diligence, with hard work, with love for country, with deep respect for the chiefs and people of our country. If your boss epitomizes these principles and examples, you have absolutely no excuse to serve the people differently. We also wish to assure His Excellency the President, the Vice President, senior government officials that we shall attend upon our duties with the highest sense of integrity, with modesty, as President Mahama exemplifies. As the President has charged us, we shall at all times make sure that in our service to the country, we protect the public purse, that we are mindful that the assets we are going to preside over do not belong to us, but they belong to the people of Ghana. At no point will we seek to annex those assets to become our personal properties. We will always make sure that those assets are rather developed. We shall add value to those assets for the benefit of all Ghanaians, as President Mahama has charged us. We finally will want to assure His Excellency the President that the content of our manifesto and the content of the code of conduct that the President has spoken to will be our guiding principles. We will not let the chiefs and people of Ghana down. We know expectations are high. We are conscious of that. And this emphatic victory that President Mahama received, the lesson there is that if you fail to meet the people's expectation, you will be punished at the polls. And we commit that it will not be our doing that the NDC will not continue to be the favorite party of the people. We will continue to serve and make sure that we meet the high expectations of the people so that we can create prosperity, create wealth, and create opportunities for all Ghanaians. We shall serve everybody, not only members of our party or members of our family. We will render diligent service to all Ghanaians, irrespective of where they come from, their background, or their political ideologies. So on that note, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, we are ready to serve, we are ready to reset this country, and be rest assured, Your Excellency, we shall not let you down. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for attending today's event. Your Excellency will now take the national anthem.
Let us
Thank you very much. Kindly take your seat, and His Excellency, the President and Vice, will take leave of us now. Please. And you may also now take some photos with your family members, and feel free. Thank you for coming. Good night.